All right, it's Matt, Blind Guys Garage. So this evening, obviously, what we're doing is we've pulled the old Camaro out from the hole. I'm sure everybody who's watched has seen it in the background and maybe wondered, maybe not, who knows about it. Here's a little quick update on what this car is, and we're trying to make it run and drive before New Year's. So I don't know how that's gonna go. First thing we gotta do is we can start by installing this little guy, little mini fuse block, little 6-terminal fuse block, so we can get the electric fans running and the fuel pump lead and all that ran into it. Not really probably gonna run much more than that, but we're gonna install it at the factory location right here beside the battery somewhere. Not exactly sure where yet. I gotta set the battery back in it. But short story on the car, it's a 67 Camaro. It was my grandfather's, left to me. I was basically told couldn't have it until he left the world. That's not real cool, but I've had it for a few years now. He left us, I think it was 2014, unfortunately, but he's in a better place now, and his life was a little rough there to the end. So we'll let that be what that be. But it's been through a few changes over the time of me having it. It's had a few different small blocks in it, and then I put a big block in it that we never drove on the street. I'll add a video in of it. Ready? Yeah. It has the big block that was in it. I went to put the trans in, and it tipped forward on the trans jack, or on the jack. Smashed my hand between the bell housing and the flywheel somehow, or flex plate somehow, and broke 3 of my fingers and messed up my hand pretty bad. And I was mad, so I just called a friend of mine and said, "Hey, you wanted this motor?" And he come and bought it from me the next day. So that motor didn't stay. We built the 400 small block for it. I liked it. It wasn't my favorite motor we've had in it, but it ran good. Sold it to a friend of mine. His name's Pete. You may or may not see his car on here at some point. It's an orange 69 Camaro. And now, as you can tell, it's sporting an LS motor. It's got flat top pistons, a BTR truck cam in it. Nothing real special. The heads have had a lot of work done to them. They're probably the most special thing of it. They've been ported and polished, and got bigger intake and exhaust valves in them. Aftermarket roller rockers on it. I mean, I've spent too much money on the heads considering what we've done, but they'll come off, and the stock set of heads will be set back on this motor at some point because I have a different plan. So there it is. It does crank and run, as you saw in the video already, and we're going to try to make it drive before New Year's. That's the goal. So let's get after it. Alrighty. Well, it's been a few hours, and I'm sure it looks the same. I promise you it is not. I had an issue with the transmission connector, getting it connected, so we had to drop the trans cross member, lower everything down, adapt that. We got that fixed. Right now, currently, we've got a fuse block. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Yeah, right there. Little fuse block right in beside the battery. Yeah, let's grab a light so you can see a little better. But I ran a little fuse block right beside the battery, so we'll run the electric fan main relay off of it, as well as the fuel pump relay. So that should cover that. There's a little bitty fuse block hanging out down there right beside the battery. So it's just a little auxiliary fuse block. We ran the alternator lead, which probably is something that should be known. If you're using F-body accessories from a 98 to 02 Firebird Camaro, the alternator is so close you actually have to take the bracket and all off on this car, which is not that big of a deal, but it's a pain in the ass. Just to know that you have to do it. I probably should tighten that up. Good idea. Alright, well, for those who are wondering, I did tighten the bracket up, and I had this support brace, which I don't know if we can see or not from right here. It's sitting right here, the support brace right here. It was ran all the way up, but it was not tight. So, I did need to tighten something. Not a big deal. Everything else is set. This air filter is just sitting on here as a deterrent for trash and stuff. I still got to pick up the right filter for it. Not even sure if I'm going to use that intake tube yet. The list goes on and on. We got the fans wired haphazardly at the moment for test drive purposes. Basically, you plug it up. You take this fuse right here. You reach down in here and you plug it into the fuse block. And then whoop-de-doo. You got fans. Real simple, real sweet, and it gets the job done. Stupid camera died. I got a couple other batteries, so we swapped it out. But, yeah, like I said, short story. Hook it up, plug the fuse in the fuse block, send it. And that's how we're going to run it for now. I do have a relay mounted right there. I just don't have the little plugs that adapt into it. And I don't feel like wiring it just to unwire it. So, I don't know. We'll go from there, get it all done. Car runs. It has headlights and taillights. And that's good enough for a half-mile drive. And that's all I want. Stupid thing to want for New Year's, isn't it? A half-mile drive. That's it. Well, y'all have a good one. I'll bring you back tomorrow when we start playing with it. Alrighty. Well, I guess 2021 is going to end very similarly to 2022, except this car actually moves and runs under its own power. We are not going to be able to get it out on a test drive. The computer's acting a little funny, which doesn't surprise me considering it's not tuned for the cam and all that's in it. And the water pump is leaking pretty horrendously. You can hear it if you listen real good. So I got it draining into a bucket now, and that's about the best I can do, but sounds like I'm missing. Alright, had to fix that. Alright, but I can do this for you. Here it is. 67 Camaro. It's not special. I mean, you know, it's not perfect, but it's in decent shape for its age. We got this little cute little thing I've got mounted on the console. Of course, 3-hole clusters. Computer's just laying on the floor over there. So, and the plan is to get a quarter on this thing this year. Somebody's crashed it before I got it. Oh, here's some trash. I'll throw that away. Somebody's crashed it before I got it, so this quarter's beat to hell. But that's it. So there's the story on the Camaro for 2021. We'll see what happens with it for 2022. I'm sure for the time being, it'll probably get put back in its hole for a little while because I got some other projects that need to be finished first. So I guess it'll go back home. Well, I'll bring y'all back later or for the next project.